Okay, this is about the fifth or sixth time I've started this video because of technical difficulties. This is intended for the makers of Austedo XR for tardive dyskinesia, uh, mostly intended for the context framework. It's for that and for anybody watching. Normal people don't have to understand these things, never have to think about them. They're dreaming in their wildest dreams, unless you're in my shoes. People with schizophrenia take antipsychotic medication. I was force fed as a juvenile stelazine, earliest antipsychotics, and then it was changed to thorazine, and it enabled me to have the best years of my life at 19 and 20, 18, 19 and 20, and 21, and I decompensated because I had to get off the thorazine. I was on thorazine at that point, which tardive dyskinesia I used to read in 1979, and I knew I had it because I would go off the medication and my fingers would move by themselves. It covers up the nerve damage it does is it burns the nerves away from the extremities, right, the skin. My tactile sense is back. I could feel my hands together now. I couldn't feel the heat transfer before, or one contacting the other. There's my skin I can feel with my hand touching and my arm where I'm touching. So my hands are steady, and most of the time, this other little bit of involvement is for my age is normal, but but the major neurological involvement of the involuntary movements all over my body. I used to get twitches on my arms and my face used to. When I get a beaming smile now, something makes me really happy. I feel the blood rush. The nerves to my face are light up, but they're so new to me. I don't know how to use them at will. On call, like on demand. Like my brother, for instance, who can do that. He knows how to put the right face on and smile and all that. But I'm new to all these drugs. Shaking hands is very difficult. Because I don't have much practice at it, just one time. And it was very awkward because I'm using nerves in my hand that I normally didn't feel turned on before. So, but the negative symptoms going away though. I feel you have off-label use of this drug because there are some negative symptoms that I looked up later in life, just a few years ago, because I didn't want to. And I got sick of reading about my own life all down the page, because there's no treatment drugs for negative symptoms of schizophrenia as opposed to positive symptoms. But I'm not going to go into that for the doctors. But so it's causing negative symptoms I'm finding are clearing up on the maximum dose for the last 8 weeks now. Okay, this organization that schizophrenia is known to cause has followed me. I realize now. Later after my cognitive wellness in November of 1994 on risperidone, then 10 years later it was, or 9 or 10 years later, it was fine tuned by a psychiatrist who saw me for 4 years, and Abilify was added, and some psychiatrists flip out on that one, but don't dare change it. I'll sue you first. I mean, because it's the right combination for me and everybody. Important people, doctor types who know me when I was sick, friends became friends, comrades, and you know, in my battle to win this disease, and proved that you don't have to go back into those damned institutions. If you just read my book, it's in the Grip of Paranoid Schizophrenia, third edition. It's in the Ohio Library System. If you're in Ohio, have an Ohio library card, you can get it from your own library. So it helps with disorganization. My life has become majorly undisorganized. My home aid for my scoliosis was here, and we measured with tape measures and stuff, and to get the room straightened out and more spacious. Everybody agrees who comes in here has been here, and it was really cramped and disorganized. So the disorganization is a negative symptom of schizophrenia going away. Okay. And my sleep patterns is another one. Typically, before Austedo, for decades, I have slept like at an average of 18, 16, or 20 hours every time I slept. And my hours would just spin the dial, Appointments are really difficult for me to keep. But now I have a home aide, so she's here on Monday and Thursday mornings, and then in the afternoons I have I'm straightened out for the day and the week, that part of the week, and and I can go out. I keep my doctor's appointments and schedule them for those days, afternoons, and it's been working that way for fine for a while now. But the new aide helped me with this. She's really good. I've had other good ones too, a couple of them, but over the years, and I really appreciate the help, all y'all. You know, I mean, but anyway, the other my sleeping hour, that's a negative symptom that's cleared up too. Okay, the sleep goes from 18 hours to 8 hours typically, or 9 or 7 or 10 or 6 or 12 at the most. Okay, this is just in the time frame that since I got on the Austedo at the day after Labor Day last September, 23. Okay, so that's 7 months on it. So I'm titrated up to the maximum dose, and these symptoms now are going away. I'm noticing this. My back. Okay, so the other negative symptoms I can't I don't have them memorized off the top of my head, but I recognize that you may have off-label use for the negative symptoms in schizophrenia. If you study that with a questionnaire for people on the drug and talk to their clinicians, get assessments from them, you may find you have off-label use for negative symptoms of schizophrenia. I read 5 years ago that in 5 years, drugs, or 4 years ago, that in 5 years, drugs are coming for negative symptoms. So you may, Austedo may be the start, spell the start of the negative symptom relief, okay, in schizophrenia, for which there never has been any medication. But it would be off-label use for tardive dyskinesia considered a negative symptom. I didn't see that. I don't think I saw that. Tardive dyskinesia is a negative symptom, but it's off-label use. If you study it, I believe it's working for me that way and making me even better than I have been all along. More normal, naturally, more normal. And the last thing to mention is my back, my scoliosis. This makes no sense unless you understand tardive dyskinesia, how it's connecting me to my outside of my skin, outside of my skin again, all over my body. The nerves are damaged from thorazine again. A certain high dosage for as little as 3 weeks can cause this condition, I read. And I was on like over twice that dosage, and for like a few couple of years or so, until I had problems with it. In the emergency room and bowel impaction, and emergency ER physician said stop taking the thorazine, and once they said that, I was gone. You know, and the next 40 years of my life was screwed up. You know, I mean, on those damn old psychiatric drugs that cause all this tardive dyskinesia. I thank you for this wonderful drug. It's awfully expensive, but it does a wonderful, amazing, magical thing to turn on nerves that were burned away by hooking receptors in the brain. How you do that is magical science. You pharmacologists are working in, but medical people. But I think you do have could have very well some off-label negative symptom relief with that drug, though. That's the main point of this video. And we're at 8:20 minutes, so I'll just end this. Because I think if you study it, you'll find that might very well be true. It could be true for other people, too. It is for me. So thank you for the drug and listening, for your time. Thank you.